Offensive coordinator Mike Bobo, and Mike's father George was one of his first quarterbacks coaches. And that's not the only coach he's known for quite some time, Nick.
Yeah, well, I've known Gunnar since he was like 8 years old. You know, and this guy won when he was in Pee-wees. He won in, junior high. He won in high school. I mean, this guy is a winner. And he has won in everything that he's ever tried to do. And I think he's got great competitive spirit, but I also think this guy is an athlete who brings some different things that, can be very helpful to Georgia's offense. And, let me show you what I mean on the tape here. I think that, first of all, Georgia showed great confidence in this guy. This is the first third down of the game. All right, and it's 3rd down and 2. They could have tried to run it. They're just running their regular old third down offense, and he makes a great conversion. One of the next things that he brings to him is you can move the pocket with this guy because of his athleticism. So he's going to run a drop, sprint, which takes him away from the pressure, makes a great throw, and explosive play. Now, here is the guy can throw the ball as a drop-back passer. He's got free access at the top of the screen. It's a catch and throw. All right, that's just taking advantage of what the defense gives. This guy also adds great running ability to this offense. He ran 3 quarterback draws in this game, all of them successful for 10-plus yards. He gets busted here as well as you're ever going to get busted. Gets right up, shows what kind of competitor and what kind of toughness this guy has, and goes on and plays the next play, which that set up the winning touchdown in overtime. Now, here's what we really have to analyze a little bit. He's going to get some looks from Notre Dame. Here you see this looks like a regular old defense out there. No blitz, no pressure. Now Texas is going to bring 6. They're in 5-man protection. You can roll the tape. They're in 5-man protection, so he's got to throw the ball hot. But they are playing what I call eyes coverage. It's not man-to-man, so it doesn't really look like man-to-man. But those kinds of gimmick-type defenses are things that young quarterbacks can struggle with. And obviously throwing that interception is what allowed Texas to get back and tie the game and put it in overtime.
Yeah, it was great tape, great to throw, great emphasis on everything. And for a young quarterback to do well, you need the pieces around you to be great too. ETN has had his 2 best games against Texas. Hasn't rushed for over 100 and a bit, but had 2 touchdowns. Going to need a big game out of him. And then you think about the weapons that they lost this past offseason. Everybody's talking about Carson Beck looks different this year than he had in the past before he got injured. It's like, well, you lose Brock Bowers, who's going to be the offensive rookie of the year, and then Ladd McConkey could be the offensive rookie of the year as well. Georgia hit 10 different targets whenever they're playing against Georgia Tech, 7 different targets against 7. They have a lot of weapons. Gunner's going to have to figure out who he likes, how he likes it, but I got a lot of hope in this kid from the Deliverance Town.
Yeah, but one thing that's important.
That's the Hills of Georgia.
One thing that's important to your point is you can't make the quarterback win the game. In other words, the people around him playing well keeps him out of 3rd and long situations and situations where he has to make plays and become advantage for the defense, which that was a 3rd and long where he threw the pick at the end of the game.
And I watched Georgia all year. I had a chance to call a bunch of their games. And I love Carson Beck, but I personally felt there was a weight on him that the expectations, almost unrealistic expectations in the beginning of the year, I think maybe impacted him early in the year. Maybe, I don't know for a fact, but I don't know if it impacted their offense, feeling some of that pressure. But all I know is in Atlanta, when he got injured, and nobody wants to ever see their starting quarterback get hurt, and we wish him all the best. When Gunnar came in, calling the game, we didn't know anything about this guy. We were looking it up and found out, obviously, some good stuff about him. But to see the Georgia team respond, it's one thing to look at 14. It's another thing to look at the way the linemen, when he got up from that hit, it rallied their team. So I think there's a lot to like, not just about him, but how it's impacting the guys around him, because they love this guy. They want to play for this guy. That's all great news for Georgia. Now, as Coach just said, Al Golden's had 11 days to get this Notre Dame defense after their win last week, to get them ready to focus on this Mike Bobo offense and the potential tweaks. Remember, Bobo put this guy in the middle of the game. Now he's had a couple weeks to get him ready. So the first thing is, just in case you get some of this zone read, you got to be able to defend that assignment football from Notre Dame's defense, which they'll have them ready to do. Spying the quarterback, especially on 3rd down. This is Jalen Snead, kind of a hybrid linebacker safety. In case he takes off the scramble, watch for 3 to be that guy. The scramble that Coach talked about, the ability to improvise. These linebackers at that second level better be able to chase him down. That's Drake Bowen, 34, shows the speed to be able to do that. And then this is the big thing, third down. This is disguising pressure, simulated pressure, confusing the offensive line, getting guys that are freed up, Dez, to be able to get pressure on him, as the tape that Coach just talked about. And how does he respond to that? Because he, as good as he is, he's still an inexperienced guy that Al Golden will try to expose in that way.
You're 100% right. It makes me think back to a year ago when Caleb Williams was at USC and Notre Dame played USC, and the effect that Al Golden had on Caleb. Caleb had won the Heisman the previous year.
Yeah.
He's seen a lot of football, a lot of looks, and Al Golden, the DC at Notre Dame, totally and completely confused him. What he's going to do to Gunnar Stockton, the same exact thing. As talented as he is, he's inexperienced. He hasn't seen a lot. And then seeing something at game speed is completely different. So Al Golden's going to make sure that the post-snap looks look nothing like the pre-snap looks, just to make sure this kid is confused. And every time a kid is that athletic is confused and his clock is going, he goes to his default. He's going to run. He's going to have a spy on Gunnar Stockton, too.
How about Mike Bobo making the, you always going to have a backup quarterback, but they didn't blink. And it wasn't like, oh, the athlete's coming in. They ran the same offense, as Coach said, but now he's had all this time.
Yeah.
What
to
did McGee
prepare
say?
this kid.
13,000 yards he threw for?
Yeah.
100 and what?
Yeah.
He
That's
threw
ridiculous,
for in there?
bro.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's been a great effort.
Yep. That's what a story
and
that was.
Saban saw all of that.
Yeah. That's up by the lake house, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, we thought we'd have an advantage in recruiting, but
He wanted to be a dog.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? He did. And they're ready to go.
How about the Sugar Bowl? Notre Dame, Georgia. Now we all know that Carson Beck got hurt in this game, SEC championship, had surgery on his elbow, and now it's going to be Gunnar Stockton. Came in the SEC championship game, played okay. Curious to see how this offense is going to look with Stockton at the quarterback position. And obviously, guys, I don't know, Notre Dame, man, Riley Leonard, Jeremiah Love. I mean, this offense is on fire. This game is going to be one of the more competitive games of the day.
Freezing cold. They were able to pound the rock. Obviously, Jeremiah Love goes for 98 yards. Riley Leonard's able to run it. He accounts for 32 touchdowns on the season. They've kind of figured out how to play their team. They're taking on a Georgia team that's got some very much needed rest, and they got a new quarterback over there in Gunnar Stockton. That game has a lot of question marks, but can live up to the hype.
well, I think the big question mark in this game is who can make the quarterback win the game, and then which quarterback can step up and do it. Now, what does that entail? You got to stop the run on defense. You got to tackle well. You got to create down and distance situations where the quarterback has to make plays, whether they're with his feet or with his arm. And I think that's going to be who can do that. Which team can do that in this game? Make the quarterback win the game. And, that means the whole team around you got to play well. You got to be able to run the ball on offense. You better stop the run on defense. So lots of pressure on the quarterbacks in this game.
Yeah,